All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is the Fantasy Sports Boss with a 2024 NFL Combine previewing the quarterback position. Of course, the quarterback position made news today. We're going to get to all of that in terms of who's going to perform at the Combine, who's not going to perform. So we'll get to that in a minute. But if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. A lot of videos coming out today. We got a lot of stuff coming up these next couple of months leading into the NFL draft. So make sure you stay tuned to that. Plus, we have free agency. It's going to be a lot of stuff. Probably going to go live the first day of NFL free agency because there's going to be a lot to get to. Usually that first day in the NFL, players sign left and right. So there's going to be a lot of probably running back movement, some key fantasy football developments that we're going to be on top of. So stay tuned for that. Now, as far as the quarterbacks in the NFL Combine today, we have already found out that both Caleb Williams and Jayden Daniels will not perform, all right? They're going to be there. They're going to meet with teams, but they're not going to perform on-field drills. Now, to me, this is always a negative. Like, they're going to wait for their pro day, and I get that's important. But I think those who opt out of the Combine, it leaves a negative taste in my mouth because all of these teams are here to watch you perform. Like, that's what the NFL Combine is for. Now, I know these prospects, they want to have a little bit of control, and that's why they want to do their pro day. But for me, like, I think you should do both. Like, especially with the 40 time, if your 40 time is slow at the Combine, at least you have another chance at your pro day. Like, it makes sense to me. You give yourself more of an opportunity to do another run there if you were disappointed in the first. But Jayden Daniels and Caleb Williams, who are going to be two of the top 3 picks in the draft based on pretty much everybody's prediction, are not going to perform. Drake May, to this point, is the North Carolina quarterback. Now, there's going to be a wide array of quarterbacks here. Let me just see I have the list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 quarterbacks are going to be performing. Well, really now 12 since the top 2 guys aren't going to be performing, but 14 have been invited. Let's put it that way. Now, listen. Did a video earlier today about the Chicago Bears. Rumor has it, at least according to Peter King, who again is very, very, has his ear to everything in the NFL, 40 years covering the game. He says he's hearing now that the Bears might be willing to trade the pick and hold on to Justin Fields, which I think is going to be a mistake. I think Justin Fields' ceiling is capped, unlike Caleb Williams, because, who has star ability. We've seen him perform as a big-time passer to go with being a very effective runner as well. Very, very good accuracy. A little immature last year and didn't really handle the losing well for USC, a team that had a lot of expectations coming in, but their defense was just so bad that Williams had to carry the load, and he kind of wilted at times there. But and he turned the ball over a little bit more than he probably would have liked. But he was being aggressive, and I'm willing to look the other way there. But Jayden Daniels, to me, Jayden Daniels is now that new Justin Fields, Anthony Richardson athlete quarterback, right? And I say athlete quarterback because they're known more for their running than pure passing at this point in the game. Now, Jayden Daniels had really eye-opening numbers for the Tigers last year, but he struggled previously before transferring to LSU, and he had, let's face it, Malik Neighbors, best receiver prospect in the game, right? So the talent was immense. He had just 3 really good targets there at LSU. So how good is Jayden Daniels? Remember, Justin Fields put up big-time passing numbers as well with Ohio State. It hasn't exactly transferred over to the NFL. And Jayden Daniels, is it a one-year wonder thing? We don't know. But he should be the 3rd quarterback taken. All right, I think the New England Patriots are going to take him at 3. Commanders probably going to get Drake May and whoever trades up to number 1. Now, here's the thing, the number 1 pick. You have the Raiders, who I think are absolutely going to be involved there, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Denver Broncos. Those 3 teams could be moving up. I think the Raiders and the Falcons more so than the Broncos because, like I said in the video I posted a few days ago, it looks like J.J. McCarthy is the object of affection for Sean Payton. All right, so that's the way it's looking there. So, we just have to see there. So really, again, not going to waste too much time with the top 3 guys. I think Caleb Williams is by far the best one. I think Drake May, though, is really, really, really good. A little careless with the football. Like, he's got a little Jay Cutler in him. Like, he thinks he can fit the ball in every little window, and that led to some turnovers. But he could run, like Jay Cutler could run. And I think he's got more aptitude than Cutler. Cutler really just didn't have the mind for the position. Just with all that natural talent, it didn't translate to wins. I think Drake May is much more has a much better mind for the game, and I think he's got a much more of an upside. And then Jaden Daniels, a tremendous athlete. He's going to be fantasy football friendly right out of the gate, maybe even more so than the other two guys because of the simple aspect of him being the best runner in the draft as far as the quarterback position is concerned. So now, moving away from those three, J.J. McCarthy's moving up quick. I think he's past Bo Nix now. And certainly Michael Penix. I think Bo Nix was the fourth guy until McCarthy really started to. The more tape teams watched, it seems like the more they fell in love with him. Now McCarthy, they leaned on Blake Corum a lot in the running game a lot in Michigan. Jim Harbaugh didn't exactly allow McCarthy to carry the team in the passing game. He wasn't asked to do as much as the other guys who are going to be drafted ahead and around him. Especially Bo Nix. Bo Nix threw the ball all over the place. So McCarthy has some scariness to him if you're going to draft him that high. But Sean Payton likes him, and who am I to quibble with Sean Payton, one of the best offensive minds in football? Like, he knows talent when he sees it. The thing about McCarthy too, he's on the thin side. All right, he's on the thin side. It's not what you like to see there. All right, you want to see a bigger build from him, and he wasn't asked to carry the team. Hasn't shown he could do that. But he was productive, all right? Showed improvement as he went along. Really, really, really good avoiding sacks, too. Like, McCarthy can feel the pressure, great pocket awareness. He can extend plays. He can move. He's got good feet, all right? I think he's rising quickly. Now, Bo Nix, who I really like. Bo Nix looks like Drew Brees to me. Looks like Russell Wilson without the speed. All right, Nix can move around too. Like, he's not a stationary quarterback, but he doesn't have Russell Wilson's speed. Much better speed than Drew Brees, who was a pocket passer. But Bo Nix sliced up everybody last season. Uncanny accuracy. Can't teach that kind of accuracy. Processes what the defense is doing very quickly. Gets the ball out decisively. Throws to open windows. Like, these are all things that translate well to the NFL. Not the biggest guy, though. All right? 74% completion rate in last season was insane. Now, he did not have a great Senior Bowl week. That's one thing. Nix did not have the best Senior Bowl week. All right, there was a couple of reports coming out that he wasn't that great. Okay, checked down a lot. Does tend to check down too much. Maybe he's got to be a little bit more aggressive. He's got to prove more that he can make those 20-yard outs and throw on a dime. That's what Nix has to show. Anticipation, accuracy, pocket awareness. He's got all that. He can move. Throws a nice ball. Wasn't asked to throw deep a lot and has to show he can hit those out routes to the sidelines. That's what we have to see from Bo Nix. Now, Michael Penix can make all those throws. A lot of injuries, though, in college. So Michael Penix has some injury concerns coming in. Took the team to the championship game. All right. Was, very, very productive last year for Washington. Knee injuries, problem in college. Cannon of an arm. Much better arm than Bo Nix. But the medical is ugly. Good athlete, not great. Missed some throws that you wanted to see him make more consistently. So I think he's still in that fifth, sixth spot with Bo Nix. Like, I think Nix, his disappointing performance at Senior Bowl could allow Penix to lap him. And I didn't mention the New York Giants at 6. The New York Giants are also going to be possibly involved here. And as a Giants fan, I could just see them taking J.J. McCarthy at 6. I mean, they did it with Daniel Jones. They overdrafted Daniel Jones. I have more faith in this front office, but we got to see what happens there. All right, now, some of the other quarterbacks that are there that I'm intrigued by. These guys I'm intrigued by. Joe Milton of Tennessee, productive player, right? He has very good athleticism. Let me just pull up my notes here because I have all my quarterback write-ups here. But, listen, a lot of the issue with teams when it comes to projecting quarterbacks, and for me, is you have to the trend is to go with these guys who have the athleticism, the speed and whatnot, while ignoring the fundamentals of accuracy. Not ignoring it, but not focusing as much on the accuracy and things like that. So I think we have to get back to that. Now, as far as Joe Milton is concerned, didn't do much with Michigan. Very, very, very big height, sturdy frame, very, very tough to tackle. All right. The release is as quick as any quarterback in college football coming into the draft. Very, very, very lightning, quick release. Keeps his feet moving in the pocket, can move, can throw on the run. Like, he did really well throwing on the run. I really like the way Joe Milton performed well on the run. Now, Milton has accuracy problems. Doesn't throw a good deep ball. All right? Really struggled hitting the deep ball. The placement wasn't good. Like, you want to see more of that. Bo Nix, that's another question mark that Nix has as well. But Milton struggled with those intermediate to deep throws. Also wasn't very patient in the pocket, right? Didn't go through his reads as much as you would like to see. Bailed out and ran at the first hint of trouble, which you want to see the processing. All right, and he's an older prospect. He's 24. They want younger. NFL teams want a younger player. But the tools are there to be like a solid day 3 guy. All right. Spencer Rattler, man, it's been a struggle. He was on that Netflix special. He was in high school. Wound up getting kicked out of high school. They never did say why. As a senior, came into college at Oklahoma with all of these projections. Maybe he could be a number 1 pick, right? Initially was great. Then he struggled his second year at Oklahoma to the point where he then transferred to South Carolina. And even at South Carolina, lots of turnovers, just no consistency there with him. But what's going to get Rattler a really long look on day 3 is a very strong arm. He unlike Joe Milton and a Bo Nix, Rattler can make every throw. All right. And he can also run. Like, he's got good speed. All right. But there was just no consistency. There were questions about a poor attitude as well. He can hit all 3 levels. Like I said, that's a positive. Athleticism is good, but he was careless with the ball. Lots of turnovers. Just seemed very laissez-faire protecting the football. But maybe that could be coached up. All right. But a little bit of an attitude problem. Jordan Travis, Florida State. All right. So we know about the injury. Another good athlete. Like, he was having a huge season. I'm not going to get into the whole thing with Florida State about the playoff. But, listen, the guy put up big numbers. All right. And day 3, I think he's going to get drafted. They got to check out the knee, of course, make sure the knee's okay, but he can run. Showed good accuracy last year, showed a lot of improvement while he was at Florida State. He's somebody to watch. And then you have Sam Hartman. All right. So Sam Hartman, he's small. He's only 6'1". I think that's generous. Very, very ultra productive player though. Whether it was Wake Forest, even at Notre Dame, 6-year player. Like, he's an older prospect, obviously. 24 to ATD INT ratio last year. A little too many interceptions. But man, he processes the game quick. Like, he's got a mind for the game. Release is great. Natural leader, good accuracy, short to intermediate. All right, deep ball, not the best. Doesn't always hit his receivers in the numbers as well. Accuracy drops sharply when he was pressured. So when the pocket breaks down, Hartman struggled. And again, he's not very big. He turned the ball over too much. All right, so he was a gunslinger. He was a college gunslinger, Sam Hartman. All right, he had to do a lot on his teams, even with Notre Dame. But can he be a guy that comes off the bench and help you? Yes. I actually think Sam Hartman could be a long-time 10, 15, maybe even 15-year player as a backup who can come in, can move the ball, play with his hair on fire, and do some things. I don't think he's a starting player, but I think he plays with a lot of energy. He processes quickly, good accuracy, short to intermediate. He can move the football. And I think that, as a backup, is something that's going to catch some attention there. Keaton Slovis from Yale. I mean, look what happened with Tyson Bagent, right? Nobody knew who he was, and then he wound up playing for the Bears a little bit. Caden Slovis was interesting to me because he did his best work as a freshman. All right. 30 and when he was with USC. All right. So Slovis, who's been kind of a journeyman, USC, Pittsburgh, and then Yale, 30 touchdowns at USC as a freshman. So that was really good. 50 to 39 touchdown to interception ratio though was not good. All right. That's not something that you're going to be able to live with when it comes to his ability to be anything more than a backup. But again, Tyson Bagent did some work last year for the Chicago Bears as a rookie. And I think Keaton Slovis could maybe catch on as well. So we're just going to have to see there. Michael Pratt of Tulane is going to be here. Austin Reed, Western Kentucky. Those guys don't do anything for me. Devin Leary of Kentucky. Not sure any of those guys are going to be able to catch on. Excuse me. As a late round pick, but they're there. So as long as they're there, they're going to be looked at. They're going to be getting some attention, and that at least should make them somewhat relevant. Brendan Armstrong, North Carolina State, really really good athlete. I didn't even check his. I don't know. I think he's coming out, Brendan Armstrong. He's a good runner, but that's my take on the quarterback. So let me know what you guys think of these guys. Who do you like? Who do you like? As more than the others. Obviously, you have the big three. Who do you think is a sleeper? Who do you think is going to be a bust? Let me know in the comment section. Hit that subscribe button, and more videos, more preview videos to come. Plus 2024 player analyzer videos. So look for that. Hit that subscribe button.